Hi all, John at Bauhaus Performance. Today we're going to go over how to feel the limit and unlocking grip, control, and speed through driver awareness. Let's start with what the limit actually is and what it actually means. So when we talk about the limit, that's the point just before the tires start to lose grip and lead you towards an understeer or oversteer position. It's not a hard wall, it's a gray zone, it's kind of a moving target. And as a driver, your job is to balance on the edge of it at all times to decrease your lap time as much as possible. With that, grip builds and falls off gradually. Maintaining your tires in the correct tire temperature, tire pressures is going to affect your grip. And through the session, the racing surface is going to change. It's going to rubber in or it's going to green out. And that changes the point at which the limit can be maintained at. And as a driver, your job is to balance on the edge of the limit and also anticipate the changes that are happening to your tires and the track before they actually occur. Typically, the tire, it's not going to be either in grip or have zero grip. It's a spectrum. Some tires will have what's called a hard drop-off, where if you exceed the limit of the tire, it's going to really lose all the grip. But most racing tires are going to have a larger spectrum of operating ranges. And so it's a spectrum as in you will be able to have a lot of grip in some instances all the way up to, when it starts to plateau. And then eventually if you significantly exceed the tire, it'll start to drop off and you'll lose grip. So your peak grip is going to be your optimal slip angle, combined with ideal weight transfer is going to enable you to have the maximum amount of grip possible and thereby decreasing your lap time. So being able to feel where the limit is matters a lot. It helps you to drive faster without overdriving the car, getting loose, or running into understeer. It's also going to build car confidence, and you'll have smoother inputs as well because you're confident in how hard you can push before reaching the limit and running into issues with understeer and oversteer, which can cause you to lose control of the vehicle. And then it also extends the tire life and improves your consistency as well. Your tire life, it could be a 30-minute race, it could be a 24-hour race. And so either way, maximizing your tire life. So, in that 30-minute race, you're just as fast as you were on lap one, faster probably because you have less fuel. And then same thing with, the 24-hour race. At the end of the stint, 1-2 hour window, you can still, utilize all the tire before it becomes unusable and you have to come in and pit. So what are some indications that you're actually on the limit and what does it feel like? There will be a slight tire noise. So it'll typically be kind of like a chirping or, definitely a scrubbing noise. That's the tire kind of an audible reaction to the slip angle. So that's one good indication. Another is that the steering gets lighter in the front or more active in the rear. That's how you can tell that you're really on the limit of grip. And with that, it's also going to lead to you using less steering input, and you're actually going to be rotating the car using the pedals as opposed to just the wheel, which is a good indication that you're leveraging all that the tires can muster. And then you're also going to be making slight corrections to the actual inputs. So when you're making those minute adjustments to, your brakes and your steering, that's an indication that you're really on the limit and you're just balancing the car right where it needs to be to maintain the grip that you need. That's a great indication that you're going to be on the limit. That also will come with time as well. Time and confidence is when it'll start to feel like a sixth sense almost, where you're just balancing the car on the edge. You'll see it in some onboard videos and things like that. Those just minute adjustments are a good indication that you're on the limit. So some common mistakes, these are really going to be when you either exceed or are not using the full grip of the tires. So one's going to be overdriving, braking too late, turning too aggressively. You're going to run into an oversteer or an understeer situation. And that's essentially the indication that you have exceeded the grip of the tires. So you need to readjust and, kind of walk back the pace in that particular aspect of the corner in order to, stay on the limit without losing time. Because oversteer and understeer is not maximizing the full potential of the tire. It's exceeding it. With that, your vision is also super important. So make sure you're looking far enough ahead. You're not really going to be able to actually use the entire grip of the tires and, focus on how you're balancing the car. If you're constantly looking the way you would with a road car, you're only looking kind of, 30 yards in front of you or something like that. You need to be looking into the next corner, into the braking zone, and things like that to make sure that you're effectively on the limit. As we've talked about previously, inconsistent inputs, stabbing the throttle or the brakes is going to unsettle the car, and that's going to definitely upset the tires and really reduce, more than anything, the peak grip that the tires can actually attain. And then another one is warming up the tires. Again, if your tires are not warmed up and you're really pushing, you're not going to have the same grip that you would if they were at their normal operating temperature. There's also a mental side to feeling the limit and being on the limit. It's about awareness, not aggression, right? So you need to be aware of your surroundings, and that comes with time. Really open up your vision and relax when you're in the car and try to, focus on what the car is trying to tell you as opposed to reacting and pushing. Again, stay calm and alert. Tension is going to kill sensitivity. You're trying to, again, balance on that edge. So if you're really, hyper tense, hyper fixated on, not spinning the car out, then you're not going to be able to dance on the limit. You want to have finesse, but you don't want to have, a level of significant aggression when it comes to your inputs. With that, it also helps to work one corner at a time. So if you feel like you're not on the limit and on a particular corner, for the next lap, really focus on that corner. You could even, not scrap the lap up until that corner, but, take your time, kind of slow down for the rest of the corner, for the rest of the track, and focus on that corner to really maximize your learning in that particular area of the track. And then trust build reps, just keep focused. Work one corner at a time is going to be really helpful for that. And it's certainly not, dive bombing the corner to see, how deep I can go without locking up or without going off the track. You need to work up to the limit and really take your time. So this is a really important skill with track driving. So it's something that we're going to harp on over and over again. It's arguably the most important skill that you'll need to learn. So we'll cover it in a lot of different videos. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you did find this video helpful, we do appreciate if you would like and subscribe. Our contact information is below if you want to reach out to us directly. That's our Instagram handle below and also our email. Feel free to shoot us an email. And with that, we'll see you in the next one. All right. Thanks, y'all.